Short the speaker.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the class. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes and then we'll jump into the session. So as you all know, this is basically our guided newspaper reading class. In this particular class, we take you through an article and we go through some interesting words, interesting phrases, try to understand what the article is all about, and try to develop the language. Today, we're going to pick a highly relevant article. It's about Chandrayaan-3, something that's on the news. So if you have these conversations with your peers, friends, you can pick up some of these phrases, words to initiate and continue a conversation. Apart from that, it's also going to help you in your IELTS test. Take down these words, put them into your word list. Make sure that you're able to practice them often so that you're able to apply it in your exam. Right. So without further ado, let's start with the article. Give me a quick hi on the comments box so that I know that you're going to be participating with me in this class. Right. So let's jump into it. So Chandrayaan-3, 10 frequently asked questions about the latest ISRO lunar mission. Okay. So let's go through some interesting questions about it. Right. What's next for Chandrayaan-3? Okay, so there's definitely some past context about this lunar mission that has been launched by ISRO. It's in its stages where it's about to land on the moon and fetch some very important information. So what's next for Chandrayaan-3, right? So that's what this article talks about, this question talks about. So former ISRO scientist, what do you mean by former? Previously, okay? So former ISRO scientist and Padma Shri awardee Mayilswamy Annadurai, while speaking to ANI, said, okay? So when you want to quote somebody, you will put it in quotes like these, okay? Said, so now the important and final thing is softly and securely landing on the moon. Okay, so moon, now if you're talking about the moon's surface and you're going to land on the moon, right, on top of it. So that's why we use the preposition on the moon, okay, not in the moon, okay, on the moon. Now, for that, the lander has to separate from the propulsion module. Okay, so probably there are two parts, it's going to separate out. So as of now, all the modules of the propulsion system have made its functionalities and it has done its job. Okay, so this particular part is complete. So whatever intention with which this particular part was created is now fulfilled. So that part of the mission is successful. Let's see what Mayilswamy Annadurai has more to say on this. Now, Vikram has to take its own course of action. So you see, it's referred to as a name, right? As if it's a person. So Vikram has to take its own course of action, right? But is Vikram a human being? What do you think? Is Vikram a human being or is it something else? Yeah, it's obviously something else, right? It is basically a rocket of sorts, right? A satellite of sorts. Okay. How do you know that it's not a person and it's a non-living thing? You get to know with this word, it's. Okay. If it was a person, then we would say Vikram has to take his own course of action. We would not say it's, right? Let's go further. Further, it has to separate. So even after separating, then the major event comes. A major event is the 4,800 Newton thrusters. They have to fire to take it to the lower orbit. Okay, that will also be done in 2 steps, and ensuring that all the systems are working properly, these two steps will go down, put 100 kilometer orbit. Then from 100, go to the 30-kilometer orbit. That's very, very vital. But when it's going very closer to the Earth, he added. Okay. So if you see, there is a step-by-step explanation by Mr. Myleswaمی and Nadare, right? They also say, what do you mean by orbit? It's the circular path, okay, that this particular, lander is taking. Okay. Let's go ahead. When will Chandrayaan-3 land on the moon's surface? When? Okay. What time? What date? The lander module, which includes the Vikram lander and the rover Pragyan, is now ready to be lowered to an orbit that takes it closer to the lunar surface, and the soft landing on the moon's south pole is scheduled for 5:47 on Wednesday. Right. So what do you mean by the word module, right? The word module is always a package of sorts, okay? So 2-3 items coming together, you would call that a module, right? Next, there's another important word over here, and that is schedule. Now, schedule is something that you would fix for the future. Okay, it is scheduled for 5:47. Okay, something that's happening in the future on Wednesday. So remember, it is not Wednesday, it is Wednesday. Okay, cool. Let's move ahead. You got this till this point? Give me a got it on the comment box if you got it till this point. Let's move ahead. Why is Chandrayaan-3 important? Okay. Chandrayaan-3 is a follow-on mission to Chandrayaan-2. Okay. And its objectives are to demonstrate safe and soft landing on the lunar surface, roving on the moon, and to conduct in situ scientific experiments. Now, there are 2-3 objectives shared over here. Excuse me. We're basically talking about why is this whole thing important in the first place, right? What are the 3 objectives, if you can tell me? What are the 3 objectives of this mission? 1, land on the surface first. First, reach your destination, right? So land. Then roving on the moon. What do you mean by roving? It's about navigating on the moon, okay? Moving around on the moon. And the third one, to conduct in situ scientific experiments, is basically conducting experiments right there, right? At the site. Okay? So you would pick up, you would sample, the rocks there, the stones there, and then you would probably find its origins and so on. Okay? That's the objective. The fourth question, let's go to the fourth one. What is special about the moon's south pole? Okay, so if you see somewhere here, right, the second question said soft landing on the moon's south pole. It's very specific. It says that I want to land only there. So why? What is so special about that? Now, rough terrain on the moon makes a landing difficult. What do you mean by terrain? The surface, okay, and that is rough now. The rough terrain on the moon makes a landing difficult, but the South Pole is a prized destination. Why prized destination? Now, when you say prized, it is an attractive destination because scientists believe that it could hold significant quantities of ice, which could be used to extract fuel and oxygen as well as for drinking water. Okay, now this is interesting, right? So again, what is the big deal about the destination where the landing is going to happen? The significance of the destination is that it could probably have a lot of ice. Why probably? Why I'm not 100% sure? Because it says scientists believe that. They're not 100% sure. It's a belief, right? They think, hey, maybe there's a lot of ice there and that can be used for fuel, for oxygen, for drinking water. Okay, so multiple future possibilities. So that's what's being explored. Okay, this is interesting, right? Let's move ahead and see what are some other questions. Who are the other countries that have achieved soft landing on the moon? Okay, so this particular achievement, if you see, India will become only the 4th country after the US, China, and the former Soviet Union to master soft landing on the lunar surface, if it is successfully completed. Okay, now look at this. Something interesting in terms of English learning here. After the US, China, and the former Soviet Union. Are you getting that? You have the US, you have just India, you have just China, but the US, the former Soviet Union. Why? Because it's a collection, right? The United States of America. It sounds like a collection of states together, Okay. Similarly, the former Soviet Union. Okay. Sounds like a collection of geographies. Okay. So the, once again. Okay. Let's move to the next one. When was it launched? Let's go a little bit into the past. When was it launched? The Chandrayaan-3 mission was launched more than a month ago. More than a month ago. Okay. Before. On July 14th, from this place, from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Andhra Pradesh's Sriharikota. Okay. Can Russia beat India to the punch? Okay, so it says, can Russia beat India? Okay, in this particular activity. So if you see, Russia had launched its first one after 47 years on 11th August. Okay, in a bid to make a soft landing on the moon's south pole. As for PTI, so PTI, a publishing body, Luna 25. Now this is Russia's mission, is expected to land between 21 and 23 August. Chandrayaan-3 is expected to land between 23 and 24 August. Okay, so both countries, I think, almost synchronously are going to land on the moon's south pole. In fact, Luna 25 entered the moon's orbit on Wednesday at 11:57 p.m. Okay. Now, who is the Chandrayaan-3 lander and rover named after? Okay, so you would have heard the word Vikram. Okay, now Vikram is obviously a proper noun. It's a word. Okay, it is a name. Why did it come from? Where did it come from? The term Vikram means valor in Sanskrit, while Pragyan means wisdom. However, Chandrayaan-3's lander is named, after Vikram Sarabhai, who is seen as the father of India's space program. Right. Two more questions. Two more very interesting questions. Why did Chandrayaan-2 mission fail? So if you see, we're talking about Chandrayaan-3, right? So let's talk about 2 then. What happened with this one? Now, ISRO's Chandrayaan-2 mission failed in its lunar phase because its lander, Vikram, crashed into the surface of the moon, following anomalies in the braking system in the lander while attempting a soft landing on September 7, 2019. Now, there are a couple of very interesting words. Okay, if you see this one, its lander crashed into the surface of the moon. Okay, now this word crash gives you a vivid picture of what would have happened, right? Probably the lander going really fast and slamming into the surface and then breaking into several parts, right? The word gives so much of vivid imagery. Okay, if I would have said that its lander Vikram softly, or its lander Vikram landed into the surface of the moon and probably broke into several parts, thus could not function, right? Instead of such a big sentence, I just used one word, crashed, and everything gets conveyed. So that's what you're also going to attempt, right? When you speak in English with your friends in your exam. The next very interesting word is anomalies. Following anomalies in the braking system. What does that mean? What does anomalies mean? Now, anomalies means something out of place, something out of the ordinary. Okay, some error, that is called an anomaly. Okay, following some problem in the braking system, in the lander, while attempting a soft landing. Right? Beautiful word used again. Let's move to the last one. What has ISRO learned from failure of Chandrayaan-2? What has ISRO learned from the failure? Very important, right? To learn from failure. So that's what it's talking about. The significance of Chandrayaan-3 mission, unlike its unsuccessful predecessor, something that's happened before, okay, something that comes before. The opposite of it, successor, something that comes after. The significance of the Chandrayaan-3 mission, unlike its unsuccessful predecessor, is that the propulsion module has a payload. Obviously technical, right? Doesn't matter. Try to understand what it is that the propulsion module has a payload with this acronym. What is the acronym a short form? SHAPE. Spectropolarimetry of habitable planet Earth. They get to study Earth from lunar orbit. Sorry, I'm not a technical, very much of an expert in this domain. So I'm just basically expanding the acronym. Let's go ahead. ISRO says the SHAPE, okay? Now, obviously, it doesn't mean the little word SHAPE, right? It's capitalized. So you're talking about this acronym. Says the SHAPE is an experimental payload to study the spectropolarimetric signatures of the Earth in the near infrared wavelength range. Okay, so this is something additional that is being incorporated in Chandrayaan-3. Right. So I think a very informative article, something very interesting to go through. And we learned a lot of interesting words, interesting phrases. So if you have to now have a conversation about Chandrayaan-3 with your friends, peers, in your IELTS exam, in your speaking test, pick up interesting words that you can use in your writing test as well, right? Understand phrases and sentences in your reading tests, then I hope this particular session has helped you. Wonderful. In your journey towards cracking your IELTS test, if you want to take our help, more than happy to do so. You would find the details on the comments on the description. Please go through, fill up the form, and join us, and we would love to help you in your preparation. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you and good day. Bye-bye.